Do you want to live your best life in 2025? Many of us believe that living our best life requires achieving more, doing more, or accumulating more. But the truth is much simpler. The secret to a meaningful life isn't found in adding more. It lies in removing the toxic things that hold us back. Marcus Aurelius, the legendary Stoic philosopher and emperor, once said, "Our life is what our thoughts make it." This profound wisdom is the foundation of today's discussion. In this video, we'll explore 12 essential things you need to quietly eliminate from your life in 2025 in true Stoic fashion. These aren't flashy, instant changes, but a persistent, thoughtful process that aligns with Marcus Aurelius' advice to understand and master our inner world. By the end of this video, you'll discover areas where stress, distractions, and negativity quietly creep into your life, and you'll learn how to eliminate them step by step. These small shifts will create space for peace, growth, and more meaningful connections. So let's begin the journey to living your best life in 2025. Number 1. Unnecessary goals. Being true to yourself is one of the most important Stoic values, yet we often find ourselves chasing goals that don't align with our long-term values or happiness. Ask yourself, is this goal genuinely mine, or is it a product of someone else's expectations? It's easy to fall into the trap of societal pressures or family expectations. Maybe you pursued a career because your parents thought it would bring success, or perhaps you took up a hobby because your friends encouraged it. Over time, you might realize that these external influences haven't led to fulfillment. They've just created noise and distraction in your life. This is a perfect example of how unnecessary goals can drain your energy, leaving you feeling unfulfilled. In the Stoic tradition, goals should align with your inner purpose, not the whims of others or fleeting societal trends. The key is to identify your authentic desires and focus your energy on goals that contribute to your personal growth. This doesn't mean dismissing ambition. It means having the wisdom to discern which goals are truly worth pursuing. Consider how much time you've spent working towards goals that, in hindsight, feel unimportant. It could be the pursuit of material wealth, climbing a corporate ladder that doesn't interest you, or trying to please others at the cost of your own well-being. In the grand scheme, these goals might have brought you momentary satisfaction, but failed to provide lasting contentment. Instead of continuing to chase what others expect of you, take time to reflect on what truly brings you joy, peace, and purpose. Is your career path an extension of your passions? Do your goals align with your deepest values? For example, maybe you picked up a hobby because friends pressured you to. But as time passed, you realized it wasn't your true passion. Instead of continuing out of obligation, you decided to follow your heart. This is a step toward living authentically and aligning with your true desires. Stoicism teaches that we don't need external validation. Focus on your internal growth. Additionally, keep in mind that sometimes we confuse progress with busyness. It's easy to feel productive when we are crossing items off a to-do list. But are those items contributing to our true life goals? Being busy doesn't necessarily mean being purposeful. Reflect on how you spend your time and ask whether those actions are aligned with your deeper purpose or if they're simply distractions. Remember, time is precious, and as Seneca wisely said, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Don't waste yours chasing goals that don't truly serve you. As Marcus Aurelius would advise, concentrate every minute like a Roman on doing what you are meant to do. When you focus on meaningful goals, you bring your full self to the present moment, and that's where true fulfillment lies. In 2025, make it a point to evaluate the goals that truly resonate with your values. Focus on what will help you grow and contribute to your personal development, and gently let go of anything that's merely an external expectation. The Stoics believe that true success comes from aligning our actions with our deeper values, not chasing external rewards or achievements. Number 2, raising your voice. In moments of stress or frustration, it's tempting to raise your voice, to let your anger spill out in a way that feels momentarily relieving. But as you raise your voice, you risk losing control, not just of the situation, but of your inner peace. Stoic philosophy teaches that to be even-minded is the greatest virtue. In those moments when anger grips you, remember that it is an opportunity to practice emotional control. Think about it. When you raise your voice, you are giving up the power to be fully present in the moment. In contrast, when you remain calm, your voice can carry more weight and influence. Imagine having the strength to speak without anger, where each word is deliberate and thoughtful. This isn't about suppressing your emotions, but about mastering them so that your emotions no longer control you, but serve you. Pause before reacting in anger. Take a deep breath, feel your emotions and recognize them, but don't let them dictate your response. In that brief moment of calm, you regain control of your inner state. You'll notice how much more effective and meaningful your words become when they are spoken from a place of composed thought. This practice is a powerful tool for building stronger relationships. When you respond calmly, you invite reason and understanding into the conversation. You create a space where solutions can be found without the added burden of hostility. You're not just keeping your own peace, you're encouraging others to do the same. As you approach 2025, remember that every conversation is an opportunity to practice emotional mastery. The next time you feel anger rising, choose to speak with clarity and composure. You'll find that not only does this protect your peace, but it leads to deeper, more respectful connections with others. Number 3, comparing yourself to others. In today's world, the comparison trap is more pervasive than ever. Social media constantly shows us what others are doing, what they've achieved, where they're going, and how they look. It can be easy to get lost in the cycle of comparison, thinking that you should measure up to others in some way. But as the Stoics remind us, what is here is for us, and what is not here is not for us. Your path is uniquely yours, and no one else's journey should serve as a benchmark for yours. The truth is, comparing yourself to others is a fruitless endeavor. It distracts you from your true potential and shifts your focus to external outcomes that may not even align with your values or your goals. Every person's journey is different, and each situation has its own set of challenges and circumstances. You cannot fully understand the sacrifices, the struggles, or the unseen moments that others have experienced in their pursuit of success. Instead of comparing, embrace the power of self-awareness. Reflect on your own journey and evaluate where you've grown and what you've achieved on your terms. Seneca reminds us, "No man is free who is not master of himself." To be free is to be in control of your thoughts and actions, not in comparison to others, but in pursuit of your own ideals. Your focus should be on improving yourself day by day. What can you do today that brings you closer to the person you want to become? How can you grow, learn, and evolve in ways that are true to your values? Rather than measuring yourself against others, measure your progress against your own past. Focus on your effort, not the outcome of others. As you move into 2025, make a commitment to turn away from comparisons. Your only competition is with the person you were yesterday. The wisdom of the Stoics calls us to embrace our individuality. You are enough as you are, and your life doesn't need to mirror someone else's for it to be meaningful. Trust in your own journey. When you stop comparing, you open up space for greater self-acceptance, peace, and true fulfillment. Number 4, seeking approval from others. In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to fall into the trap of seeking approval. We often seek external validation in hopes of feeling worthy, whether from our peers, colleagues, friends, or even strangers on social media. This constant need for validation can create a cycle of dependence on the opinions of others. But as the Stoics remind us, the only approval we truly need is our own. When we seek approval from others, we place our sense of self-worth in external hands, making us vulnerable to their judgment. Our confidence becomes fragile, dependent on outside forces that we cannot control. Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "The opinion of others is not my concern. True contentment and self-assurance come when we find our worth within ourselves." Think about your own values, your purpose, and your passions. Align your actions with these inner truths and trust that you are enough just as you are. When you act with integrity and authenticity, you no longer need validation from others because your actions will already be in alignment with your highest self. In 2025, commit to being your own biggest cheerleader. When you trust yourself, the need for external approval diminishes. Take pride in doing the right thing, regardless of whether others notice. The only validation that truly matters is the one that comes from within. It's about living a life that reflects your values, regardless of outside opinions. Trust in your judgment, and the rest will follow. Number 5. Fear of change. Fear of change is a universal experience. Change often feels uncomfortable or uncertain, and that discomfort can lead to resistance. However, Stoicism teaches us that change is not to be feared. It is simply the natural course of life. The obstacle is the way, Marcus Aurelius wrote, reminding us that challenges and changes are not disruptions to our lives, but opportunities for growth. When change occurs, we have two choices. We can resist it, cling to the past, and waste energy fighting something we cannot control, or we can embrace it as an opportunity to learn, adapt, and grow. Think of change as a doorway to something new, a chance to reinvent yourself, explore new possibilities, and unlock potential you didn't know you had. As you enter 2025, challenge yourself to change your mindset around change. Instead of viewing it as something to fear, see it as an invitation to grow. Each time you face uncertainty, remind yourself that growth and transformation often come from the most unexpected moments. Whether it's a career shift, a personal challenge, or simply the changes that come with time, embrace them with an open heart and mind. Remember, it's not change itself that causes fear, it's our reaction to it. The Stoics believed in focusing on what we can control, and our reaction to change is always within our control. Fear diminishes when we shift our focus from the unknown to our ability to adapt and thrive no matter the circumstances. Embrace change, and in doing so, you'll discover new strength, wisdom, and resilience in yourself. Number 6. Unnecessary possessions. In the pursuit of happiness, many of us mistakenly believe that accumulating possessions will bring us fulfillment. From material items to status symbols, the desire for more often becomes a source of stress and dissatisfaction. Yet, as Marcus Aurelius wisely noted, the things you think you need are often the things that imprison you. In 2025, consider the weight that unnecessary possessions may place on your life. Each item you own, whether it's an outdated gadget, clothing you no longer wear, or sentimental objects that no longer hold meaning, has the potential to occupy both physical and mental space. The more we collect, the more we are attached to the past, our desires, and external validation. But true freedom comes from letting go of the things that no longer serve us. It's essential to question, do these possessions contribute to your happiness or merely add to your stress? The constant upkeep, the worry about losing them, and the pressure to maintain them can detract from what truly matters. Embrace the philosophy of living with intention, focusing on experiences, relationships, and personal growth rather than accumulating things. Minimalism is not about depriving ourselves of comfort, but about focusing on what truly adds value to our lives. It's a practice of freedom, a liberation from the clutter of material distractions. When we focus less on possessions, we open up more space for what's meaningful. Inner peace, personal growth, and deeper connections with others. At the start of 2025, take stock of your belongings. Let go of what no longer serves you and curate your possessions with purpose. By simplifying your environment, you may find that you also simplify your mind. Less clutter leads to greater clarity, and in this simplicity, you may find the true wealth of life, contentment with what you have rather than what you think you need. Number 7, perfectionism. Perfectionism is often seen as a drive for excellence, but it can be a silent adversary that holds us back. It builds an illusion that there's a perfect way to do everything and creates an unhealthy obsession with flawlessness. This belief keeps us stuck in a cycle of stress, self-criticism, and anxiety, leaving little room for growth or progress. The truth is, nothing we do can ever be perfect because perfection is subjective and ever-changing. Stoicism teaches us that the only thing we can control is our own response to challenges, not the outcome of our efforts. When we embrace imperfection and take action, despite our fear of failure, we begin to see growth, creativity, and courage. This is the path to mastery, not through perfection, but through consistent effort and learning. Consider the story of Thomas Edison, who failed over 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb. His failure was not seen as a setback, but as a part of the process. Each failed attempt brought him closer to his goal, teaching him what didn't work. If Edison had given up after his first, second, or even 100th failure, we wouldn't have the light bulb today. In 2025, let go of the pursuit of perfection. Embrace the idea that mistakes and imperfections are stepping stones to success. Start now, take action, and keep going. Your growth doesn't depend on flawless execution, but on persistence and adaptability. Number 8, mindless use of social media. Social media is a powerful tool, but it often consumes more of our time than we realize. With endless scrolling, endless posts, and the constant barrage of content, it's easy to lose focus on what truly matters in life. Social media presents curated highlight reels of others' lives, often leaving us feeling inadequate or disconnected from our own personal growth. It creates an illusion of connection, but can deepen feelings of isolation and dissatisfaction. In the age of instant gratification, we find ourselves mindlessly scrolling without any purpose. We click through images, videos, and updates, looking for something to entertain or distract us. But ask yourself, what am I truly seeking with each scroll? What value am I gaining from this? The answer might be nothing. It's just a way to fill time. Luke's story exemplifies the trap of mindless social media use. He was constantly comparing his life to the curated lives of others, feeling smaller and less accomplished. But by intentionally using social media, he found more time for his hobbies, self-growth, and even new creative outlets like photography. By making conscious decisions about his digital consumption, Luke gained more control over his time and his well-being. This year, focus on mindfully using social media. Set limits on your screen time and curate your feeds to reflect content that truly inspires or educates. Social media can be a powerful tool for connection, but only if we control how and why we engage with it. By reducing mindless scrolling, you'll find more time to focus on what truly matters: real-life relationships, self-care, and growth. Number 9, spreading negative opinions about others. At some point, we all have a tendency to speak ill of others, whether out of frustration, jealousy, or a desire to bond with others. Gossip and negativity may seem like an easy way to vent, but in reality, they not only harm the person being discussed, but also damage our own character. What does it say about you when you spread negativity about others? Are you truly in control of your emotions, or is negativity controlling you? Anna, a manager at an advertising firm, learned this lesson the hard way. After venting about a colleague's late report to her team, she realized that not only had she damaged the relationship, but she had also created unnecessary tension. Instead of speaking behind her colleague's back, Anna chose to approach them directly. They worked together to understand each other's perspectives and improve their work. By refraining from gossip, Anna built mutual trust and respect. When we judge or criticize others, we often fail to see the bigger picture. There are always circumstances we don't understand. Practice empathy, not judgment. A simple shift in mindset can create stronger, more compassionate relationships. This year, stop yourself before spreading negativity and choose instead to build constructive conversations, showing understanding and kindness. Number 10, oversharing the end of relationships. Relationships, whether personal or romantic, can end in painful ways. It's only natural to want to share your experience with others, to seek comfort in a time of emotional upheaval. However, oversharing the details of the end of a relationship, whether it's with family, friends, or on social media, can complicate an already difficult situation. Recounting every conflict and flaw of the other person might feel like a way to get sympathy or validation, but it also violates privacy and often leads to more gossip, judgment, and speculation. Not only can this harm the other person involved, but it can also prevent you from healing properly. You may inadvertently get caught in a cycle of pain, judgment, and conflict. Consider the story of a friend who went through a difficult breakup and felt the need to share every detail with others. Initially, it seemed like a way to process the pain, but over time, her words were distorted and the conflict escalated. Eventually, she realized that oversharing only kept her emotionally drained and complicated the process of moving on. She chose to reflect on her feelings privately and focus on healing rather than seeking validation from others. In 2025, focus on protecting both your privacy and your healing process. Instead of airing the details of a breakup, try journaling, meditating, or talking to a therapist. This helps you process emotions privately, avoid unnecessary drama, and regain your sense of peace and self-respect. Healing comes from within, not from external validation.